of course, there are many ways of looking at this. One is that by the nature of the job of a journalist, you're going to be exposed to things that the average person doesn't get exposed to. You'll be exposed to people who are suffering extreme deprivation. You'll be exposed to people who are sick, people who have died, and all sorts of things. So this is the nature of the job, and I'm going to speak a little bit about preparation for that part of it. But then as for these changes that are happening because of COVID-19 and because of other social disruptions, obviously an employer who is able to cushion their employees, that would be a very good first step. If somebody is able to assure them that, listen, while we're going through these difficulties, we have certain things that we will do to support you so that you don't suffer unnecessarily, I think that would be useful. So, but talking about journalism and the stresses that come with the work that you do because of how the things you're exposed to, the organized helpers or first responders, as we call them, have a system that helps them to deal with the things that they're exposed to. And this system involves a number of things. One, you prepare in advance. So you as leaders, when you're sending out these young journalists to the field, it will be important for you to have a session which is organized, where you talk about the things that they're expecting when they go out there, and some of the effects of those things on their mental well-being. For instance, you're sending them to a place where people are fighting, police are intervening, and so on. You need to prepare that some people might get shot while you're there. You might see people dying. You might see people getting injured, and so on. And it might make you feel distressed. And that if you get to a point where you're feeling overwhelmed, these are the things you need to do. You can withdraw from the place, let a colleague continue, go find a quiet place, and just reflect. So preparation is an important thing. Then as they go out, not sending them out alone. So what we have learned with these kinds of interventions, that we send people in teams. So you might have at least 2 people working together so that they support each other, but then one person would notice if the other person is starting to break, and then they would provide support, get them out, get them to a safe place. So having a buddy system where you're watching over each other is a second intervention that is very important. After going out and seeing the things that they have seen, the third thing that is very important is having another formal session to debrief, where after you've filed your story, you have done everything, you have a forum where you'd sit with your fellow reporters, fellow journalists, and discuss what you went through today, what you saw today, how it made you feel, and then how you dealt with those feelings. And if people are sharing this around a table, then you'll find that people are able to say, aha, I feel validated. What I was feeling is normal, and how I dealt with, I can do it better going forward. So it is important for you to have at least these 3 things: preparation, and then the buddy system when somebody's out there in the field, and at the end of the day, having a debrief where people can share their experiences and how they handle the difficulties. That is very important in that setting. Outside of the daily experiences and so on, as editors, as managers of teams, it is important for you to have regular scheduled meetings where you go through your work-related stuff, but also you check up on each other. And in these days when we are doing virtual reporting, people are working from home, quote unquote, it is still important to have sessions where you talk with each other and find out, how are you doing? Okay, away from work, away from the reporting and so on, how are you doing as a person? So I think those are some of the tips that I would use to support the young ones as they go out, and to support even yourselves and your own colleagues.
Okay, thanks, Prof. And I think you've spoken to what